What the
Sync. Bam. You know, I played that for Ricky. Ricky's like, what the fuck was that? Because I forgot to sync. I forgot to turn everything on when they were here. So he didn't hear it that time, but he heard it the other day. He's like, well, what the fuck was that? I'm like, it's just Zach. It's our sync. Don't worry about it. You'll figure it out.
It's like he didn't get to hear the classic. Plug me up, Daddy.
No, he'd have to go back a little bit to hear that one. You'd have to go back a little bit to hear that one. That was good days. Good times.
Making Andy feel wrong about himself every time.
I know. Oh, poor Andy. Poor Andy. All right, hitting the music. Let's go. Hello. Welcome into Anime Plus, episode 82. I'm alongside with Sparky3. Hope you're having an incredible day, whatever day you are watching or listening to this podcast. I got Zach here in studio. Zach, how you doing? How you feeling this wonderful Thursday?
I'm doing good. Ready for Anime Thursday, I guess.
Anime Thursday?
I don't know what we're going to call this.
Anime Thursday. That's it.
No.
Oh.
You
said it.
I said it and immediately hated it. Every time you say, and I got Zach here with me. How are you doing? How you feeling? I go, what kind of nonsense can I say? And I'm not always happy with what I say.
It just comes out.
Yes,
you know? Yeah,
it's exactly it.
Yeah, I mean, I feel that. That's half the shit that I say. I mean, the world should not have allowed me to have a mic to talk into. That's just the bottom line. But if you could, like this video, subscribe to the channel, be a friend, tell a friend. We definitely appreciate that. Make sure to also check us out at sparky3.com. You can sign up for free or sign up $5 a month and check out a couple of our partnerships like Rogue Energy, use referral link down below, promo code Sparky30 to get 10% off, and Red Dragon, use referral link and promo code GameSthetic to get 10% off. Today should be a pretty fun episode. Got some good conversations with a couple of these shows, and had a lot pop out at Crunchyroll Expo. A lot popped out there, new Chainsaw Man trailer, a couple other things. I watched the Tokyo Avengers live action movie finally, so I'll chat about that. Lots of good stuff on today's episode to chat about. One thing to note is for the next 2 weeks, we will not be posting normal episodes of us talking about the anime stuff because we're actually taking off the next 2 weeks. But we will still put up some episodes, but they're going to be, you know, our normal special topic ones. So one of these 2 weeks we'll put out Big Five, Big Threes per decade. We've personally named them, as well as the Big Five, Big Three that we believe will be the Big Five, Big Three by the time the 2020s are done. So that's going to be a good one. Possibly some controversial takes in there. You know, everyone has a different opinion for the most part. You know, everyone can pretty much agree on Big Three per decade.
Usually, yeah.
Except maybe the 2010s. People probably have some pretty different opinions on that one. You know, the 2000s and the 90s, I think everyone will have the same ones. You can't really argue with that.
It's hard to argue with them at this point in time.
It is. So, you know, it should be a pretty fun one. And then we'll also do an episode on, in our opinion, the best gateway animes to get someone who's never watched an anime before into anime. We'll go over our picks on that one and why we picked them, so that should also be a pretty fun conversation. And then we'll be back on our normal routine. I think we'll have another topic based episode in the beginning of October as well.
Probably.
Because I'll be on vacation and not here and not even worrying about a single podcast, and it's gonna be great. So we'll put out a topic one there, which I think we're gonna do something that we've never done, and I'm shocked that it's been like, you know, almost 2 years of doing this show and we've never done it. But our top 10 favorite series of all time.
Oh, that one.
Yeah, it's wild to me that we haven't done that yet.
I'm pretty sure if you go through all of our topics and just the episodes, you can probably piece
figure
together
it out,
our
yeah.
top 10.
That's true. Well, for me, yes, 100%. For me, 1,000%. People can go through the bonus episodes or whatever and be like, all right, I've got like Alex's top 5. I mean, it's not that hard. It's not that hard to figure out. At least you can figure out at least like 3 of the top 5 for sure.
Yeah.
You know, the other 2 you can probably just guess, but it's not. You know, it'll be fun though. It'll be fun. I feel like some of my picks though, in the 6 to 10 range, could maybe shock a couple people, you know, here and there.
Possibly.
We'll see. Based on what I know is going to be in there, I feel like it could shock some people.
You know what's going to be the real shocking to everyone?
What's that?
The opinions of Josh Pillow.
Shout out to the Josh Pillow. Thanks, Josh. Appreciate the input.
We should actually get a list and just put it on the Josh Pillow.
Yeah, I will. Now, here's the thing. Should I actually ask Josh for his top 10 or just make up our own list? You know, we'll be respectful to Josh, and we'll put One Piece as number 1. But then after that, should we just like put the most obscure things possible?
I'm pretty sure. I'm not sure. I would have to go back through some of our early episodes. Could I actually get a top 10 out of the stuff he said?
So the only ones that I would know, obviously One Piece. Trigun would be up there.
Demon Slayer.
Would it though? I'm not sure. I'm not sure, honestly.
Okay, maybe not.
I know not Attack on Titan
No.
anymore. That got burned for him. I would probably guess Dragon Ball's up there.
Yeah.
I would probably assume that. Naruto would probably... I don't know. He forgets that he read Naruto all the time.
But I bet he would still put it on there.
He probably would, yeah. He read Bleach and he really enjoyed Bleach, so maybe that one. But like he's never talked about it on the podcast. I don't know how much he loves it. You know what I mean? He just told me how much he really enjoyed it. I don't know if Tokyo would be on there. I don't know. I don't know what Josh's top 10 would be. I don't even think he knows.
I don't think. Okay, maybe not.
He probably doesn't know, honestly. I don't know what his top 10 would be. I don't know if like ReZero would be on there. He really enjoyed that.
He did.
Yeah, so I don't know. Josh is a weird one though.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't know. Either way, it'll be a fun episode, nonetheless. So yeah, this week we did the Control Expo. A lot of stuff popped off there.
We didn't do shit.
Huh?
We didn't do shit.
Well, we didn't do shit.
It would
But
happen.
we as a community had it, you know. A lot of shit popped off, of course. New Chainsaw Man trailer.
Yes.
That was pretty hyped there. Confirmed for October, so that's pretty good. Good stuff.
R.I.P.
Yeah, man, we're gonna be busy. We're gonna be very, very busy. We did get the announcement of Tower of God season 2, but no season 2 announcements for the other 2 webtoon animes.
Which is interesting.
Yeah.
But I mean, to be
Tower
fair,
of God was the most successful of the 3.
and it was also the first one.
Yeah.
So you never know. The other 2 may drag along. We'll see.
Yeah, I hope so. Because like the content that would come for both God of High School and Noblesse, like after what we got for this, it's great content, bro.
I just know that after seeing I haven't actually watched the Tower of God trailer, but
didn't either.
Seeing the thumbnail for it and seeing the characters on it, I'm going, yep, anyone who's never read Tower of God's confused as fuck right now.
That's fair. That's fair. Also got what was it? Demon Slayer 0 coming to Crunchyroll here in just like what, a couple
Wait,
weeks.
Demon Slayer 0?
Not JJK.
You mean
JJK.
Jujutsu Kaisen
yeah,
0?
Yeah, sorry.
You said Demon Slayer 0 and I
Yeah, I was
agreed
like,
with it, then
what?
went, wait, what is that?
right. Yeah, let me hop over on Twitter. I know, yeah, that's coming out here in just like a couple weeks. So that's pretty hype. What else did we have come out of there? Probably just like more trailers. Haikyuu getting its next season.
Yep.
That's pretty interesting. I got a visual teaser of Shield Hero season 3. It's coming out. Shut up! Don't even start that like you did with 2.
I mean, it was coming out. Season 2 was coming out.
Yeah.
It just kept getting pushed back.
Yeah, I mean, fair. Got a new key visual for Bleach. Shout out to that. Which also I pointed this out to our other friend Zach, who's a massive Bleach fan, whatever. One of the key promotionals from like the trailers for Bleach is like that super sick animated shot, a side shot of Ichigo in the rain looking super serious, whatever. Now that I have gotten to the 1,000-Year Blood War in the manga, and I know what happens immediately after that, I just laugh. Like, you have like this super epic shot for promotion. And, I don't give a fuck. Like, this series has been done for years. This final season, in theory, shouldn't have even happened, with where the anime stood. So I don't care to spoil this.
I mean, the anime stayed pretty consistent with the manga. So the manga was still going when the anime ended because they got caught up and were like, we got nothing. We don't want to do another just bullshit arc. So
Yeah. So bottom line, I don't care to spoil it. So like basically like you have that sick shot, right, of him looking super cool in the rain. It's a shot where it's like, I think it was Rukio's brother is talking to him at that shot is what
Aizen.
it was.
Not Aizen.
Not Aizen.
That's not right. Byakuya.
Byakuya, yeah. And then it's like, it's just like, oh, save the Soul Society, whatever. And it's like super epic shot. And then it's like 5 minutes later, Ichigo gets his shit rocked. Like that's your promotional shot. But then like immediately after that shot, Ichigo's gonna be face down in the dirt. But that's Bleach though. That's Bleach. I told Zach that was one of my biggest complaints about Bleach is like nonstop. These characters get rocked.
They get rocked
all the time.
None of the main cast is safe. They'll get epic moments, but it's a coin flip.
Yeah.
Did Kubo let him win, or did he put him in the dirt?
Dude,
or did they win and still hit the dirt?
Exactly. Like, dude, every fight, it takes it to like almost like just an annoying level where it's like, for me personally, now that I finally have read Bleach and I've already read Naruto and I've read up on One Piece, I can see how Bleach was the one, the one outside looking in. You know what I mean? I can see it. I can see different aspects in the writing and stuff where it's like, okay, I can see how you're the one that's the outside looking in, compared to the other ones. Still part of the big three, of course. I get that, but I can see some points on that. But I mean, Bleach is good. I haven't finished Thousand Year Blood War because I'm in that same state as I was for One Piece when we were starting Anime back in the day. And I read 940 chapters in less than 2 weeks.
Yay!
And I was like only like 30 chapters behind from being caught up, but I could not mentally do it. Where I was like, I have to stop. I've read too much of this, and it took like 4 months before I finally caught up. So that's the point that I'm at Bleach, is that I've read like 400 something chapters in like 2 weeks, and I'm just like, all right, well. I'm to the point where I can now watch the anime, so I'm good. We'll finish this when we finish it. That's the main thing. We'll finish when we finish it. But like I said earlier, though, I did finish. I did watch Tokyo Revengers live action movie. It was honestly very enjoyable, and I can see where they wrote this movie in a sense of where it's like, even though we did get the news recently, there will be a second movie. You can tell where they wrote this movie with the intention of, hey, if this is a one-off movie, the story is going to feel complete. You know what I mean? That's how it was essentially wrote. Is like by the time that it's done, you're going to feel like the movie and the story's done.
Does it end about the same time the anime ended, or did it go further?
Well, the anime ended at Bloody Halloween, so no.
Yes. Okay.
Because also with this, they also cut a lot of content to make up for it being a movie. So like, they cut weeks out of the story because instead of it being the Battle of 8-3, it's the Battle of 7-13. Yeah, they moved it up a few weeks because they cut out weeks. I mean,
it's still catchy, but it's not the same.
Yeah, it's not the same. No, there was a lot of changes with that, because I haven't gone back and checked out how the Battle of 8-3 started. But correct me if I'm wrong. When it came to the Battle of 8-3, like, there was no thing supposed to happen, right, in the story, like, between the gangs, like everyone was at the festival having a good time. Was that how it was for the Battle of 8-3?
So it wasn't like a set thing.
Like they didn't have planned.
No.
Okay, because that's where this movie also differed. Because I it's been a while since I've gone back and checked out Battle of 8-3, but I specifically remember Mikey just being in like regular clothes.
Yeah, he was just in like his pajamas.
Yeah, he was just chilling. No, so in the movies, like they had like a plan set up between like, Toman and Mobius, who they absorbed, where they had plans to go do something.
Oh no.
And it all fell through, and Mikey realized that they had been duped. So like when I saw that, I'm like, okay, so this is also a difference as well. Because with this film, like, in part of like that cut content, part of the cut content was Takemichi going back in time where he talked to Osanai. And after Osanai, it's just like, everything changed after Draken died, whatever. So Takemichi knew Draken was going to die based on when he came back to the future or back to the present. And he talked to Akun when he jumped off the roof. Akun told him then, it's like, that Draken died. I think that's what it was.
Well, Akun also references that in the original anime too.
Yeah. So like that took place, Takemichi ends up going back to the past, but like Takemichi doesn't come back to the future again to talk to Osanai. That whole sequence, that doesn't happen. Like there's a lot of cut content in that sense, because like with that, Osanai is kind of set up as one of the main antagonists in a sense. Like, he's not he's not the main, because really the main antagonist is the guy that stabs Draken, the guy that Takemichi first fought at when he met Mikey. What's his name?
Yeah, I forget his name.
Kiyomasa. He's kind of built as the main antagonist, the final boss of this movie. But like the reason I say
he is for Takemichi, but hey.
Yeah, I know. But like the reason I say Osanai is kind of built as like the final boss also is because Hanma, he's in the movie, but he's not the one fighting Mikey at that battle. He's in the background. Osanai is the one fighting Mikey, which I'm not a fan of that direction, because like Mikey dropped Osanai like nothing.
Yeah, he got wrecked.
Yeah, so the fact that we're in this battle of 7-13, or the battle, this version of the Battle of 8-3, and Mikey struggling versus Osanai, I wasn't a fan of that. That direction I didn't, because Mikey already rocked him earlier in the film.
Yeah.
But, I mean, the film was enjoyable. I enjoyed it from beginning to end. I was hooked, didn't look at my phone at all. I was having a great time. Music's fantastic. I thought the acting was pretty solid across the board. For all the characters, and like I said, it does end in a sense of like it feels done. So it's like the movie is ending with the past sequence of him saving Draken. Draken is confirmed to be alive. You do see God, I cannot believe I'm forgetting that scumbag's name. Who's like the main antagonist again? Kita, whatever.
I can't think of his name either.
Yeah, see, I'm blanking. The douchebag. Everyone hates him. I cannot believe I'm forgetting his name right now. Yeah, he's
literally the only tan character.
Yeah, I know. Anyway, so he's there in a few shots and stuff, but with how the movie ends, it ends with Mikey crying that Draken's alive, whatever. Takemichi will end up going back to the past, and as Takemichi, is going to Hina's house, where Naoto is, whatever. You'll see Akun, successfully being a stylist. You'll see him step out, waiting for his customer to come in. Takemichi already ran by. It's happy, upbeat music, and when the door opens, it's Hina, and that's the end of the movie. So it ends in a sense like, all right, mission accomplished.
Yeah.
It's like it feels complete. But even though they cut content out of it, I think it was still a fine movie because like the thing is like people are going to be upset that cut contents out of it, because they're such fans of the manga or the or anime. But if you want a solid live action movie, you got to have some cuts.
Yeah, you got to cut some stuff out.
You got to cut.
Unfortunately,
yeah, and I mean, it's going to be good.
The Osanai thing makes sense to me.
It does. I mean. It does, but it still just bothers me because, like I said, Mikey rocked him with 2 kicks in the movie.
See, it doesn't make sense that he would end up being like the big bad.
The one the big bad that Mikey had to fight.
Yeah.
Kiyomasa was the real big bad of this, essentially. Even though there was like those hints with, the douchebag and Hanma, where it's like they're kind of like, they're teased as like these background evil characters, but they don't actually have a role in the whole thing. Because like Hanma, you see him twice in the movie.
Which makes sense.
3 times. You see him 3 times.
Which makes sense.
You see him 1 time. The first time you see Hanma was in the present, where you see him standing up on a balcony overlooking when Akun killed himself.
Okay.
The next shot was him in the arcade, Mobius's whatever. And the last shot was him watching the Battle of 13 from a balcony where he just laughs and walks away. Yeah. And the only time that you see
Hanma's not that scheming. He likes to throw hands.
Exactly. I know, right? And then for the other douchebag character, you see him more in the present than you do in the past. Like really the only time you see him in the past is once Mikey realizes that they've been duped, whatever, cuz like they're all in their Toman gear, they're ready to go do something and they're waiting on the Mobius group, and then Mikey's just like, where the hell is Draken? He's fucking late. Because it went from one scene of Draken by himself. It's like, oh, Mikey's late. And it takes us to Mikey and the Toman where it's like, oh, Draken's late. And then Mikey's just like, who set this up? It's like, oh, this guy did. No, this guy did. No, Osanai did. No, this guy did. And Mikey's just like, we've been duped. And he bounces, whatever. And as he's riding on his bike, douchebag is walking. And Mikey does like a nice 6 slide and stops because, he's in Mobius gear. And Mikey's just like, who the hell are you? And he just like, kind of chuckles and turns around and keeps on walking, and then Mikey just goes about his business. So that's the only time you really see him in the past, right? It's like it's kind of weird. It's kind of weird, and if you've read the manga and watched the anime, it's kind of weird how it set that up. But
oh well,
it was still a good movie nonetheless. I enjoyed it. You got anything you want to chat about? You ready to hop into some stuff?
No, I got nothing.
All right, let's hop into it. We'll start over to Overlord, season 4, episode 6. What do we got?
So this was an interesting episode. So discover that the Koga beast creatures are going to attack the Dwarven Kingdom, and it starts with a whole shot of the doors being attacked and being overrun and whatnot, and having to shut a gate and sacrifice the people who are still out fighting. And then a scout just comes up. He's like, "Captain, there's a undead creature." Undead? They're all questions. Like, yes, says he comes for good intentions. Okay. They go out there. He has a whole moment with Ainz declaring who he is, learning about the attack, and just like, we wish to help you. Would you allow us to aid us? And the guy's just like, well, I have to go back and ask the council. He's just like, I have a saying from where I'm from. Men get things done. Councils run around in circles. Damn. He gets down for the window. He's like, sir, what are you doing? He just opens. Aid us. And then it's just a shot of the creatures fighting and just sitting outside the door like, yeah, we're going to get them. The door's open. It's like, oh, are they surrendering? Let's get those small bastards. And just, screaming blood. Skeleton Knights run out. And just all of them running, and just a moment of a leader going, what's happening? Oh, God, what are those things? And it just leads to a massacre, and the leader guy managing to cut the still-made bridge and knock down the Skeleton Knights and sacrifice some men, but save the rest. And it's a nice shot when the Skeleton Knight is falling, and it's so focused on its orders to massacre. It literally grabs one of the creatures falling with it and throws it at the commander guy, and it's just a nice meaty. and just blood splatters on the guy as he's looking down. Then it just continues with the rest of the episode of Ain's talking to the Dwarven Council, telling him why he's there and everything, and just being like, I want to make trade and everything. I want to help build up the runesmith, and I will aid you in taking back your royal capital. But in turn, I want all the runesmiths to move to my country, and yada, yada, yada. He leaves the room, and all the council members are like, what's wrong with that creature? Did you see how powerful it is? It could have murdered all of us. There's something wrong here. How can you trust him with something that can't even drink?
I mean, fair. That's a fair point.
And more or less them having their doubts and whatnot, thinking that he's a skeleton. He must have evil intentions. He wants his hostages. That's why he wants all the runesmiths and not. And it just ends up with them going, he's the only one who can help us, aid us in this time when we need it. They agree to his proposal. They're just like, on one condition, we have Dwarven delegations come to inspect under that they're not being mistreated. It's like, all right, cool. Yeah, that works. So we doing this? It's like, yeah, it's like, then he goes to all the runesmiths and them. He bribed them all to show up by passing the one runesmith he met in the previous episode, passing around some of his liquor he had created in his kingdom. And all the dwarves are showing up to get some more liquor. He shows up, gives them all a rousing speech about rune crafting and whatnot, and how he wants to aid them in making true rune technology and whatnot. Pulls out a sword that has 20 runes on it, and all of them are amazed and everything because the most they've ever done in the past 200 years is 6 runes on a single hammer. More or less getting them all pumped up and everything to come and progress and everything. The main dwarf who he's talked to just has a moment where he's crying. He's like, this kingdom truly has given up runesmithing. They're willing to give us all up. And then Ain's pepping him up. It's like, well, if one kingdom's willing to get rid of them, there's another willing to take them in and accept them. Has a whole moment. They walk off. Then he prepares to go take the royal capital and all this fun stuff. And the guy volunteers to lead him. He's just like, I can't let you sacrifice yourself. And he's just like, there's a secret book of runesmithing in the capital. Why should I leave it with a kingdom who cares not about runesmithing? I think I'll have a bout of blindness when we pass the treasury. Carries on. They have a moment. Then the guy, then it, of course, has the natural overlord thing of him going like, this is a super dangerous place that we'll have to. Flies over. Well, this is flies over. Well, this is a poisonous place even. We can't just fly over it. Ain's vampire. Well, as an undead, we don't really need to breathe. And I'm just like, yeah, we'll just protect you two living people with this magic. Flies over. And then, how did the episode end? It ended with them about to take out pretty much the entirety of the creatures. Because it didn't end, but they were preparing to go pretty much wipe them out. And then that's more or less how it ended. It was mostly just political stuff.
Oh, okay. For me, I did not get around to watching Futopia 2. I was very, very busy this week. To also give an example of I've just the level of busy I've been all week. I haven't even played a single second of Digimon Survive yet. I've had a very busy week.
Well, a lot of people wouldn't blame you, so.
That's true. I will also say on that, I don't even know if I want to finish my run. Oof. Not because it's a bad game, but because I saw what my final evolution is going to be for Agumon, and I really don't like it. I want to start over now. Anyway, I will say this for Futopia. I did see the transformation scene on Twitter.
Oh.
So in this episode, Charles and Shuturo will transform into the Kamen Rider or whatever. And I thought the transformation was kind of funny because, they all, like in the previous episodes, it's where they said the two of us make one detective, whatever, and it's had this nice bromance scene and stuff. So it's kind of the same thing where it's they have their transformation gizmo, their morphing device, whatever, and then you just see Charles's body just go limp. He just passes out, and his soul and essence essentially comes into Shotaro. They become the Kamen Rider, which is split green and black, and then it's like a Dragon Ball Z fusion where they're both talking at the same time.
That's funny.
But yeah, you just see Charles just go and just fall to the ground. So I don't know. I'll be looking forward to watching that episode too. Lycoris Recoil, though, I mean, it was all right this week. It was all right. So the beginning of the episode was a big focus on the on four different Lycoris who was killed, and basically trying to figure out how they were killed, etc. Because it's still a big focus on like that antagonist character who's voiced by Kirito's voice actor.
Yes.
Don't know his name. Green haired dude. That's all I can tell you. Kirito, green hair Kirito. That's all I can tell you.
Kirito the second.
Yeah, Kirito, green haired Kirito the second. Basically, that's the best I can tell you. So they're trying to do some investigating on that throughout this episode. It's like how they were essentially discovered, where it's like they were trying to figure out different where it's like maybe the bad guys have caught on to the Lycoris uniform, which is like a schoolgirl outfit, whatever. It's like maybe they caught on to like when they see that uniform, they know that they're a Lycoris, whatever, blah blah. That other hacker Walnut, who is forgot her name, but she's like the little girl that was in the briefcase, whatever, who's hanging out with them. She ends up revealing to the gang that she was the one that actually hacked into the DA, which is Lycoris, because she was just paid to. She's like, I'm just sorry, I was just doing my job at the time, but she didn't tell him up to this point that, hey, I hacked into your systems a while ago and kind of fucked and got us on the fuck situation that we're in now. And through some some general deduction, one thing after another, they discovered that like at the at that coming back to that core photo, remember the photo where they happen to catch the arm still going in the background. Well, there was 4 Lycoris on the scene, who was there to try to stop it. Well, thanks to Walnut's hacking at the time and giving it to the bad guys, they were able to get in some different like computer, like camera system stuff to find the 4 Lycoris that were there, to get their faces and end up murdering them. Because
Gotcha.
we know who you are, sort of thing. Now for this episode, the other hacker that Walnut was going up against in that chapter 2, who he wears like a robot head,
Okay.
whatever. He's like a super skilled hacker. He's being forced to get more information on Lycoris for Green Hair Kirito. And he gives them Chisato's picture and stuff, and Green Hair Kirito laughs it off like it's no big deal because like whatever, I guess because of her rank or how she looks, whatever. But he's just like trying to convince Green Hair Kirito. It's like, no, she's like one of the top ones, I swear to God. He's like, I swear to God, like Green Hair Kirito's literally like got a gun to this dude's head. It's like, you better give me some good information. She's like, I swear to God, she's one of the top ones. I swear. It's to the point where like they had some agents like go bust into her house, which her house was kind of interesting. You get to see that in this episode because Takina starts living with Chisato as well. Just to kind of watch out for each other, because they feel like all Lycoris is kind of under aim at the moment. So like you walk into her apartment and it's like pretty decent sized house and it's completely empty. There's not a single thing in that house at all. No furniture, no paintings, nothing. And then it's like, lights are off, whatever. And Takina's like, this is it? This is where you live? And she's like, oh no, it's over here. And she like opens something up and there's like a ladder, and you go down this ladder and you're in the like an exact replica of that same apartment, but it's completely furnished because it's the safe house. So
Gotcha.
people would bust into the top part of the apartment and it looks like, oh, it's deserted, whatever. But then the actual apartment is below it, is where she lives. You got some nice interaction between her and Takina.
See, I would walk into that and go, did I walk into a sociopath's home?
Right? Yeah. Yeah. So you got some nice little interactions where Takina like tries to like break up the chores, where she's like, all right, we both have to do chores. We both have to do our part. And Sito's like, that's lame. I don't like that. I don't want to do chores. And it's just like, all right, well, let's play a game. Let's, who wins the chores? Like, okay, what do you want to do? So let's play rock, paper, scissors. And Sito's like, all right, bet, let's do it. Sito wins literally every single round, and Takina is stuck with every single chore for the entire week at every part of the day. Every part of the day. Chisato does absolutely zero chores. I'm going to circle back to that here in a moment. So we also, like I said, the hacker had some people go bust into the house, whatever, which Chisato took care of them very, very easily. But there was like a drone outside that just happened to catch like where there were some blinds, just kind of barely open. So they got one quick shot of her doing work, and the hacker's like, see, I told you, she knows what she's doing. So now Chisato's being targeted by Green Hair Kirito and all of his lackeys and stuff. In this, you get a pretty nice little action sequence between like all of them, where Chisato's actually getting her shit wrecked. They come in, save the day, save Chisato, whatever. There's a giant explosion where Green Hair Kirito, there's no fucking chance this dude lived, but he did. And he lived like unscathed. No shot at all. Okay. All right. Listen to this. So there was like, I think it was it was like a van or something that kind of like crashed into a flagpole, whatever.
Okay.
And Green Hair Kirito was beside it, and there was another guy in the distance that fired a rocket launcher, but he kind of got like kind of knocked back a little bit, so the rocket launcher kind of got fucked up in its trajectory and fucking hit this van. That, like, man, Green Hair Kirito was literally standing right in front of this van. Rocket launcher hits it, blows it up. Green Hair Kirito goes flying in the air and going into the lake. And I'm just like, okay, Green Hair Kirito's dead. Nope. He comes back literally the next scene, just wet, no damage. And I'm like, no shot.
What the hell?
No shot. That was a full-blown RPG that blew up a car literally like a foot away from him. There's no shot that he's completely fine. I know it's anime, but there's no fucking chance.
Wow.
But Chisato was kind of recovering, whatever. She did get a little fucked up in this fight, and in that process, Takina's talking to the other two about how she's stuck doing all the chores. She keeps losing the rock paper scissors versus Chisato, and they're just like, "Yeah, are you leading off with rock? Like, if you're just doing that, like, you got to keep in mind, Chisato can like read people's movements before they do it. She's just gonna read your movement every time. So if you go like rock first mentality, she's gonna beat you nonstop." And Takina's like shocked Pikachu face, like, "Oh fuck, you're right." So you get a little funny shot at the end where Takina actually wins rock paper scissors and stuff, but the majority of the bulk of the episode is that whole sequence of where it's just those now being targeted, and that will now continue as well, because like whenever the Green Hair Kirito goes back to that hacker, the hacker thinks he's fucked, because how bad the mission went down. But Green Hair Kirito was very pleased with him. He's like, "You found someone very interesting." He's like, "I want every bit of information you can give me on her." So, now that's just going to be like the big focal point, I'm assuming, for basically the rest of the remaining 6 episodes of the show.
And the season ends with him proposing.
I don't know if he'd go that far, but we'll see. Rent a Girlfriend. Not a lot went down in today's episode. Not a whole lot to chat about there. It was Mizuharu's birthday was like the week prior, whatever.
Yeah.
Last we got the pickled plums gift, whatever, blah blah. So for this episode, it's like Kazuya's just like, "Oh, I'm thinking about renting you next week." She's on this day. She's like, "Oh, sorry, I'm busy," but doesn't say what. And then he pairs up with the boys, and the boys like, "Hey, we're going to some mixer here soon. You want to go?" He's like, yeah, sure. Goes with the mixer. Sure shit. There's Mizuharu and her normal everyday outfit not being Mizuharu, so it's like a big awkward sequence. Where everyone is start getting like he basically it's just like, oh god, are they gonna figure out that she's actually like, are the boys gonna figure out that she's actually Mizuharu, who's he's introduced to as his girlfriend and stuff, because she's like in her normal people clothes, like I said.
Gotcha.
So that's all it is. It's just like a lot of interaction there. Everyone gets horribly plastered to the point where it's just like no matter what happens, no one can pick up like, oh, that's actually Mizuharu. Okay, it's just because they were also having like a drinking game that Kazuya was afraid that maybe she got potentially like in bad situations, of how much she had to drink,
Gotcha.
could potentially out them. So as they're doing this drinking game, Kazuya is purposely failing where he has to be the one to drink, because it's like whoever loses the game, that's who's got to drink that round.
Gotcha.
It's not like everyone's got to. So he purposely lost like every single round, was just going down.
Until he went blackout.
Yeah, full blown blackout, got sick, whatever. He's trying to slowly waddle his way home, passing out on the side of the street almost. Mizuharu, helps him home, helps him in his apartment, all that shit. You have like some nice sweet moments, I guess, where he's just like, I'm always a burden to Mizuharu, blah, blah, blah. And he's just completely just puking in the toilet. She's just there for him. That was the episode.
You know what? I had a funny moment this week about Rent a Girlfriend because I was just going through my emails and I had 2 weird ones back to back, which I wasn't paying attention. I was just sort of scrolling, deleting what's useless. And I had one that I actually looked at, which was Yakuza related.
Okay.
Because Yakuza's going to be on PlayStation Plus.
Yep. Shout out.
And I was like, oh, cool. Then I went and I just saw, and because his name's Kazuya, and Yakuza's name is Kazuma, I read it as Kazuma and 4 girls. I went, what?
Rent a Girlfriend?
I was just like, what is Kazuma doing? For click on it, it said Rent a Girlfriend. Went, I've been played. Well done, Crunchyroll. You fucked me. And backed out and carried on.
Oh man, they got you. They got you. Next up, Classroom of the Elite, Season 2, Episode 6. I really enjoyed this episode.
This was an enjoyable episode.
Yeah. Okay. So for me personally, and I'm kind of curious on how you felt about it as well. There were 3 very key moments that just like really stood out to me in this episode. So the first one is just how disturbing Kishido was in this episode, where she's just like, okay, I've decided I want you expelled now, and I like still in a very happy, bubbly tone. I'm like, God, she is a disturbing human being.
Yes.
Red flags, red flags. And then I really enjoyed the whole sequence between Anakoji and the brother. I'm drawing a blank on her name again. Horika, is that her name? Horikta? Horikta? Is that her name? Main girl?
You mean Pseudo and
No,
Horikya?
Suzune. Suzune, her first name. What is her last name that she commonly goes by? Horika, whatever.
Horika? Yeah.
Yeah. Well, anyway, her brother.
Oh, okay.
I really enjoyed that sequence, like where leading up to the race, where he's just like, Anikoji's just like, if you're really that interested in me, I could be convinced to actually challenge you in a race, whatever. I thought, it's just
Actually
like,
go all out.
yeah, actually go all out. And I just love that moment of where the brother's teammate gets to him, and she's like,
sir,
are you gonna take it? He's just like, thank you, you did well. He's just standing there. Everyone else already went,
just mugging,
waiting for Ayakoji's teammate to get his, and then just boom, just go. And I just love that whole sequence of just like where Ayakoji's having this inner dialogue where it's just like, I've never run this hard in front of people in my life. Meanwhile, he's still
just straight face.
Yeah, like you see the brother look over at him, kind of smirk, and Ayakoji just stone cold face. I loved it. That was great. It was fantastic.
And we just get that moment where it's just like, well, you did great. Yeah, but I lost. Well, it's not your fault he fell. The guy on your track fell down. He's like, I still lost.
Also, did you see those pictures I sent you of the
Yes.
animation? That was great. I saw that on
somebody caught that.
Yeah, I saw that on Twitter first, and then I went as I'm watching it, I caught it immediately. Where there was 2 shots in this episode where they're running around the track, and it got like animated wrong, where it kind of got glitched up. Where if you look at it, it looks like a guy is running on top of another guy, and a guy's running on top of another guy's head.
Yeah,
So
literally just stepping on him.
Yes, so that was pretty funny. And then the third thing for me was definitely that end portion. I love that end portion. I thought that was so sick. I was just like, oh, I've been recording the whole time. And then, you could tell, Ruin's kind of irritated. He's like, well, I've been recording the whole time, but he doesn't flip his phone around. So obviously, he's not. He's just trying to get her to, not call him on his bluff. He gets an email where it just says, listen to this. It's from unknown. And he listens to it, and it's him.
Of him telling.
Yeah. And he's just like, whoever's pulling your strings, they're smart. I'm going to fucking out them. Yeah, I love that. I thought that was awesome. What was your thoughts?
My thing with the whole thing, which that was a nice scene at the end. My whole thing is just because Kuruna knows there's more to Ayano Koji.
Yeah.
But no one figures out it's Ayano Koji.
Right? That's what I love about it.
Except the brother, he's just like, that guy's suspicious.
Exactly. That guy's sus.
Why is he helping my sister?
That guy's sus as shit.
I mean, I also enjoyed the Pseudo and Suzune moment of her recruiting Pseudo to be able to help her continuously and sort of making a deal similar to Ayano Koji and
Kushido.
Is that her name?
Yeah. The Two-Face.
Not Two-Face.
Oh.
The other girl.
Oh.
The one from the boat.
That one, I don't know. Sorry.
Yeah. The one who he let get bullied to record her getting bullied.
Yeah. Unfortunately, I don't remember her name. I'll top man. It takes me forever. We're only 6 episodes in. Give me 2 more and I'll know names.
We only have half the season left.
Give me 2 more and I'll know names.
So that was a very good moment with her, just her finally coming to realize that she needs people to help her. She can't do it all. And the same thing with Pseudo just being like, you didn't just want to win. You wanted to show off. And him coming to the, I wanted to show off.
Yeah, basically.
After screwing up so much in the previous semester and all that fun stuff. Overall, very enjoyable. Did like that we got more out of Two-Face Girl, and that she is actually the younger sister of Class C guy, and that there was a whole thing with middle school and the fact that the whole reason she wants to get rid of Horikita is just because she knew who she was in middle school. She can't allow anyone like that to be around.
Yeah. And which, correct me if I'm wrong, this is like, the first time since season 1 where that other side has fully come out?
Yes.
I thought so. Which I think that's a great touch to the character, that side comes out in that bubbly form every once in a while, like when it's just like her and Anakoji, you know,
Yeah.
like it'll come out in some conversations, but like the full blown change of personality
In that dark, shady alley.
yeah, doesn't come out all the time. I feel like that's a nice touch on the character for this series, is that it's very sprinkled in lightly. I think that's good in my opinion for how it's written.
Because she's trying to change her image from middle school.
Yeah, exactly. Which again, it goes back to the writing. I think
It
it's just
sounds
good
like
writing
she
on my
was a
part.
thug and beat people when she was in middle school.
Yeah, because she's just like, oh yeah, I was a real problem child back then, wasn't I? So looking forward to seeing more on that. But no, this week's Classroom of the Elite was solid. I watched that yesterday. I had a really good time. All right, Zach, is it done yet? Because
Nope.
It's coming off the script in fall.
It's not.
Yes, it is.
It is not. We cannot get rid of it. You know why? I took some time and added it up. I can literally say 24 hours of my life has spent just solely watching Dragon Quest.
And I want everyone listening to know that's my fault.
Technically, it's 33 hours altogether, but there's a whole day that I could say a whole day of my life was spent watching Dragon Quest. We're not taking it off the goddamn schedule.
Well, look, I'm going to tell you right now, if it's still going in fall and it doesn't get taken off the script, you're on a fucking timer. We have other shit to talk about.
I don't
It's more
care.
important. You'll be on a timer. It's like, all right, I'm starting the timer, Zach. Get this done.
That's fine by me.
Okay.
But today on Meme Quest, so we had the hands throwing of the Grand Master, Old Man versus Mystavern, only to discover that for whatever reason they never wanted to mention it ever again before this. But apparently the Grand Master was part of Avon's party and fought Hadlar with him. And gonna also throw this out here, which they just threw in. Apparently there was a moment in time where they defeated Hadlar once already. Because this is how he explains how he knows the secret spell of frozen time. Because there was a battle before the end battle, which led to the death of Hadlar, where Avon, Pop's teacher, Makarov, and not Makarov, that's Fairy Tale.
Yeah, that is.
Martov.
He should have been dead like 9 times.
Yeah. And then the Grandmaster fought Hadlar and his minions. And Avon cast that spell on Hadlar, and with the backfire, also cast it on himself. So the two of them were frozen in time, where they couldn't move or anything, and they were just frozen statues in this wasteland.
Okay.
Apparently, that only lasted for a year, and something happened. They didn't explain what happened, but that apparently only lasted for a year, and there was peace for a year.
Peace for a year. Okay.
Yeah, that all fun stuff. Then apparently, after a year, he broke free, and then to continue the rest of their adventures, where Grandmaster was a part of it, and they went and fought Hadlar and eventually killed Hadlar. Yeah, he explains that's why he does it, and he just straight beats the crap out of Mystavern. Like Mystavern literally couldn't do anything; it just took punches. And then we had a moment with Pop going, "I can't cast Medora." It's like, why? Because people are counting on me.
Oh my
I
God.
can't deal with this. I do my thing and then I hit the dirt, and I've been fine with that. I can't handle being the one that everyone's like. And it has a moment where Grandma's like, "You can do it, Pop." Then he goes on to explaining his whole story of how he was with Avon and everything, and just it gives Pop the motivation. He's like, "I can do it." Pulls back during all that, and he's just right at the end. Mr. French just like, "Okay, yeah." Grabs the Grandmaster because he ran out of time using his full power, puts him in front of him, is like, "You can't shoot me now. I have a hostage." "You're wrong, Mr. Vern. I can shoot." "What?" He lets go. He lets go. It goes into slow-mo. The arrow's going. You see him just go in a racer pose. Zoom. Grabs the Grandmaster, jumps away. He's like, "Later, nerd." And Mr. Vern's like, "Shit." As the arrow's coming to him, it's just a nice moment of it coming straight at Mr. Vern. You think it's going to be over. Then it goes to Mr. Vern's hand. Crackling light, crackling thunder. And not even a fucking hesitation. It just goes crackle, grab, throws that shit at Pop and Grandmaster, and obliterates the fuck out of them. I was just like, okay. That build up for just a second of Mr. Vern going, whoop.
Nope.
Like you could have given just him just going, boom.
Yeah, this is where you need to get that trademark nope effect put in. It's like nope, nope,
And it's
nope.
Then it just ends with everyone going, "They're gone," and it ends.
Oh my God. Is this series gonna end soon?
I have no idea. We've killed Dark King Vern, apparently, as far as I'm concerned. Mr. Vern's just rolling on people. He's apparently just killed 2 people who I don't believe are
I'm gonna
dead.
go look at the manga and I'm gonna see how much longer we have of this, based on story content.
Yeah, I think it's gonna outlast all the fall stuff. I'm gonna be honest.
Please, no, don't tell me. No. It's coming off the script.
It's not coming off the script. We're not throwing away a day of my life.
Yes, we are.
No, we're not.
Yes, we. Damn.
2 years ago, you didn't expect this to go this long.
No, I didn't know. I'm sorry. I'm taking off the script.
It's not coming off.
Well, you're gonna be on a timer if it's still on there in
I'm
the fall.
fine with that. I did it so much quicker than any of your stuff.
Well, you got like 2 minutes because we got other stuff to talk about. All right. God, I feel so sorry for you. I really do. It's my fault though. I never took it off the script.
You never took it off the script.
I know. Summertime Rendering, episode 17. Not a lot went down in this episode. It was kind of like try to hunt down as many shadows on the island as they can to try to reduce, Heine's army leading up to the festival day. Because obviously Heine and Shibuya is currently in the recovery phase from getting fucked up. So they can't really do a whole lot more at the moment while their other shadows can. Again, hey, let's go fuck up as many shadows as we can. We get a lot of backstory in today's, like a couple of flashbacks and stuff because, while everyone's split off into their set teams, like, okay, we're going here, whatever, kill as many shadows as you can. Shinpei and Urshiro, like, they go to one person's house, which was their former teacher back in the day, like when they were in school, discovers like the black mark on the floor. So it's like, okay, she's dead. She's been turned into a shadow. They end up finding her shadow, trying to kill some little kids. Ursho and Shinpei. Yeah, exactly. Ursho and Shinpei save the day. Kind of funny interactions there because, like, as they're walking, which I hate myself so much when I saw this happen again because I forgot to mention it in a previous episode how funny I thought it was. So, like, whenever shit's about to happen and shit's going down, Ursho, since she's like, hyper fast, supersonic speed shadow, right? She just straight up picks up Shinpei like he's a princess and just starts running with him in her arms. And I forgot to mention that a couple episodes ago. So it's like they're walking, shit's about to pop off. Ursho picks Shinpei up and just like supersonic speeds away with Shinpei in her arms. But like the thing is that was really entertaining about this sequence when they're battling the teacher is like, they end up getting the teacher, they shoot her shadow, and she looks up at Shinpei. She's like, Shinpei, you've really grown. And she's boop, just pops, and Shinpei's like, yeah, I have. So then Ursho starts talking to the kids where they're like, shh, you can't say anything to the adults, because Ursho's supposed to be dead, and the whole shadow thing, whatever. And she turns around to Shinpei and looks at him, she's like, are you gonna get out of the tree or what? Like, what are we doing? And Shinpei's like, you threw me in the tree, get me down. He's trying to slowly get down. So that was pretty funny. Now, a couple things in this episode as well that was some interesting parts to note is so Shinpei points out that his time of another loop has been pushed back. This is the first time this has been kind of touched on, but the way it was essentially explained, since he's lived now as long as he has in this loop, if he would die again, he would gain some extra time essentially. So he basically saying that he has another loop, which tells me he will die soon. That's what that tells me, is that if we feel the need to point that out, it tells me he's going to die. Toiko, the sister, she points out to Shinpei that like, hey, when was the last time you slept? Because like you have like the most massive bags under his eyes. Shinpei realizes that like technically he hasn't slept for a very long time because he keeps dying and re-looping, So he finally takes a moment, gets some sleep. Good for him, whatever. During this whole process of sleep, Ursho, she's a shadow, doesn't need sleep. Nezu, tries to sneak out, the old man. And Ursho insists that, she comes with him, whatever, just in case her shadows. He's kind of like, nah, I'm good, I'm on my own. She's like, nah, I need to come. He's like, all right, fine, whatever. They go back to his place. He says, wait outside. He goes in. She immediately comes in. He yells at her. He's like, I said wait outside. She's like, I came in because I sensed a shadow. He's just like, I know. Apparently his wife was killed and became a shadow, and he basically has his wife pinned down of the shadow form in his house.
Kinky.
Because he hasn't had the heart to finally kill the shadow. It's all that's left of his wife. When he comes in, he says, I'm home, whatever. But she starts like screeching like a Walking Dead zombie or something. But in this sequence, he finally has the heart to kill her, where he's just like, I know this needs to end. I know this isn't her, whatever. So kills her. So that was a nice little sequence. That's pretty much it for the episode, though. Like the biggest portion, I feel like there's a lot of time sunk into that whole flashback sequence of Urshiro with the teacher and just how they were as kids and stuff in that. And basically the teacher's impact they had on their life. And they had like a little mourning period. The teacher is dead. They killed the shadow, all that good shit. That was essentially the episode, though. I mean, it was a good episode. I enjoyed it personally. What was your favorite episode of the week?
Probably Overlord.
Classroom for me. Classroom was really good. All right. We can get into chapter ratings for the week. Knock things out in beautiful fashion. One Piece, 1056. I would give this chapter probably an 8. I enjoyed it. My Hero Academia, 362. 10.
I give it a 9.
You're a bitch. I will say this for people that read My Hero, and I've really made my case on this particular character on multiple occasions. I don't think it's a thing. What happened? I just don't. I genuinely don't. And it's not me like being in denial or anything like that. Because like if it did happen, hey, let's go, baby. Let's go. Great arc. Loved it. Loved everything about it. The send off was everything about it. Fantastic. Great. I just don't think it's a thing because of how this chapter was written. There was a couple of key things that took place in this chapter, and I'm sure you saw it too. There was that one little quick single flashback panel, that shot, and then like the spiritual figure shot, whatever.
Yeah.
Those 2 shots alone is enough to convince me this is not real. I am dead ass convinced some weird shonen shenanigans is about to happen. And the train that Josh and I have been riding on for like 2 years is about to make it to the fucking station. That's the boat that I'm on. But again, if this is real and this actually happened, 10 out of 10. I've loved this arc. This arc has been fantastic.
It's been good.
Black Clover, 333. I give it an 8 personally. I liked it. I'm here for it.
I'll give it an 8.
JJK, 193.
I'll give it a 7.
Michio's Core Family, 141. I give this one a 6, honestly.
Oof.
I don't really care for the kind of the direction they took with this. Undead Unluck, 122. I'd give this one probably a 9. This is a very, very good chapter. Mashle, 119. Forgot to read it. My fault.
I'll give it an 8.
Sakamoto Days, 82.
8.
7. Elusive Samurai, 74.
I'll give it a 7.
Blue Box, 64.
Fucking 9.
I'm telling you, in the grand scheme of things, she's not in the league.
I mean, she isn't, but at this point in time, she is.
I'll give it a 9 as well. P6, 44.
I'll give it a 7.
Akane-Banashi, 25.
Give it an 8.
Did Chainsaw Man have a new chapter this week?
Not that I saw.
Okay, I think it was on its break. So I think everything we have Jump Plus is on a break this week. Weekly Show Magazine, Tokyo Revengers was on a break. Rent a Girlfriend, 247. I don't think there was a 247 chapter now I think about it. Was there? I know Weekly Shonen Magazine was on a break because there's a new Edens and Seven Deadly. But I don't know if Rent a Girlfriend had a new chapter now I think about it. The last chapter I remember was the one for sure for last week, so I guess not. Eden 0203, 6. Not a whole lot happened. Seven Deadly Sins. 4 Nazi Apocalypse.
So what happened here?
Chapter 74. All right, listen. I'm not surprised. I'm not shocked. I'm just disappointed. Like, the fact that this is the direction that we're going with the character that appeared in the last chapter. Character from the original series being Jericho. Remember Jericho?
Vaguely.
She was pretty much in...
she was Bond's... The girl who kept following around Bond.
Yeah, the girl that had the hots for Bond. Yeah,
yeah.
Her. Yeah, she made a reappearance last chapter. She made a prominent appearance in this chapter as well. So, okay. That's how to put this. So, with where we are in this story, you can take like a general, like educated guess how old she should be. You know, because we are further from the original story. She was like what, probably in her teens in the original story,
something like that. Yeah.
So she's probably like late 20s. So in this chapter, we get the reveal that she's actually in love with Lancelot, Bond's son, who is a child. like legitimately like in love with him, and she even openly says like that's disgusting, right? Yeah, you're right, it is. Like that's literally dialogue in this chapter. She's like, yeah, it's really disgusting, isn't it? Because she like she's Lancelot's master apparently. So what Lancelot is not Lancelot, sorry, Jericho is working for Camelot and Arthur. So Lancelot like confronts her. He's like, why are you a knight of Camelot? Blah blah blah. And she starts like referencing back to when essentially she was his master, and there was like 6 years they spent together when he was a little kid, and it showed flashbacks of him being like a little 10-year-old kid, and like even a shot of him as a little 10-year-old kid, and she like kind of like looking over her shoulder and blushing, where she's just like, here I am as a grown woman falling in love with Bond's kid, whatever. I'm like, what am I reading right now? I'm not shocked by this, I'm just disappointed.
I mean,
this is not the direction I thought we were gonna go.
That's a very interesting choice on the author. Props to you, author.
There's a lot of comments where it's just like, guys, if we hear some news where like the FBI, like someone raided his apartment soon, don't be surprised. Like seriously, I can't make this up. This is actually the plot point that like, because like she is like openly admitting her feelings to Lancelot, like up front in tears, that she's in love with him, like full blown, like in love with him, blah blah blah. And he's just like, what? Like, and that was me reading this chapter. It's like,
what's the sad part? If that character doesn't die, it could end with four Nights of the Apocalypse, him being older and being married to her when he's older.
That's grooming to a major extent. Oh my sweet God. Some of the comments though were just peak hilarious, where it's just like, it's like father, like son, or it's more like likes father, like son, and just stuff like that. And I'm just like, God, I hate this. I hate what we're doing here. This, like, again, I'm not surprised. I'm just disappointed. Like, there's some.
Didn't she also get hypnotized by what's his name?
Probably, I don't know.
From He Was Lust.
Oh yeah, I think so.
Do you think that could have messed her up?
Oh man, it could have. I don't know, man. This chapter disturbed the shit out of me. That's all I can tell you.
Okay.
I'd give it a 0. Like I hate that direction. I don't give a shit if it's like, oh, well, we're in like this old medieval time. Dude, that's fucking disgusting. Like that's full blown grooming. Like, that didn't set well with me. I'm not a fan. That's stupid. Jumping over from there, webtoons, Unordinary. I will say on webtoons, I'm finally catching up on God of High School. So at some point, it'll be back on the rating lineup. I'd say by the time that we come back with our normal episodes here in a couple weeks, it'll probably be back on the lineup.
Hopefully,
we'll see. Unordinary, 271. I give this one a 9. I really enjoyed this dad-son like little bonding throwdown session.
I'll give it an 8.
Because William, this raises a lot of questions
William
on him.
can throw hands.
This raises a lot of questions on him because he's just like, he's getting rocked. He's like, oh yeah, that was good. Let's go, keep going. I'm just like, you're not normal. So you're unordinary. So I want to know more. True Beauty 218. Still at a very pivotal moment of the series, of course. I would give this one probably an 8 though. I'd give this one an 8. It was okay. I mean, look with how it ended. I'm looking forward to see how we're gonna keep going though. Weak Hero 202.
I'll give it an 8.
I'll give it 8 as well. El Cid 181.
7.
Let's Play 174. I'm gonna give this one probably a 10. Honestly.
Damn, okay.
This was a very good chapter, but it's like a very good chapter of it's meant to piss you off.
Okay.
You know what I mean? And it did its job on that, where it's like we are now very quickly, and I mean quickly, approaching a potential like defining moment between like Sam and Charles's relationship, because like it's already been kind of teased of where Charles is like starting to like kind of let go, where he let go of him holding back essentially, where he is now unleashing kind of like how he truly is, where he's he's a dom is what it comes down to. So he's a mine sort of person, right? And we're now reaching that point very heavily, and it's going to reach a very unhealthy point very quickly, because like in this chapter, he comes over for the night, whatever, and he is just immediately locked into his mode of I want to fuck. And Sam tries to say, hey, why don't we just like cuddle instead? He's like, oh yeah, we can do that after. She's like, well, no, can we just like cuddle? You know, it's just like get like more close, be kind of more intimate. He's like, there's nothing more intimate than me being inside of you. And like she's, you know, and she's like tries to tell him to stop.
Yeah.
And he says something else, and then she basically just like, or we could just have sex, you know, and just like leaves it at that.
Yeah.
So we're going to be very quickly reaching a point of defining point for their relationship, especially with how it ended. Cause like, you know, like the previous couple chapters, whatever, you know, Sam was talking to Marshall, just like venting and stuff. Cause they're just friends. They're neighbors, of course, they're friends, you know, and Marshall happened to send Sam a text saying, it's like, hey, if you need to talk, hopefully things go well, whatever. If you need to talk, just let me know. Well, Sam's asleep and Charles is the one that picks up the phone and reads that. And it was like it was a very nice shot of like when he relocks the phone, all you see is his eyes, and his eyes look like all green and evil like in a sense, because it's like the mind mentality. Where it's like, even though he knows Marshall because he dated Marshall's older sister and like whatever, like he should know Marshall's not really a threat. He's still got that mind mentality in him. And then Sam happens to wake up and it's like, what are you doing with my phone? And that's the end of the chapter.
Gotcha.
So shit's about to start accelerating very, very quickly. I enjoyed this chapter because it made me very angry. Like that sort of mentality from guys or whatever, that pisses me off. Sub-Zero, of course, is on its break right now, down to Earth 108. I forgot to read this one, actually, which is kind of disappointing now that I think about it with what happened in the last chapter. Pseudo Armor's on a break. Mage and Demon Queen is back. I'll give this one probably an 8. Very curious what the hell happened at the end of this chapter. Most of this chapter focused on like kind of the other group of humans, the other heroes, you know, that we've kind of seen. And then, you know, the reason why I'm kind of curious what the fuck happened is because where we left off with, you know, Mallory and, Vel, is they were getting down and dirty.
Oh.
Yeah, that's where we left off with them. So when it comes to the end of this chapter, you see like a coffin, right? You see like a bunch of guards throwing, oh yeah, that's the coffin of that person, whatever, and blah, blah. The coffin opens and it's Mallory, like in a white robe and stuff. She's got kind of dazed, and that's like the end of the chapter. And I'm like, what the fuck happened? Well, one of the comments killed me. She's like, man, Mallory went from getting fucked to getting fucked. And I'm just like, oh, that was fantastic. Of course, that was a top comment. Reunion 26, I don't think I read, and Immortal Weekly 9, I did not read either. Favorite chapter of the week?
Blue Box.
My Hero, for sure. With obviously close second being Let's Play.
Yeah.
But yeah, My Hero, hands down, no doubt. All right, well, that's it for today's episode. I'm glad I got my 7 Deadly Sins rant out, because I read that chapter last night, and I just like, as soon as I got to the single panel, the page of, you know, I'm in love with you, Lancelot, I've been in love with you, I'm like, all right, I'm gonna have to lock this, and I'll pick that back up in a little bit. Can't read that right now.
I mean, I gotta give props to the author for willing to do something as risky as that.
Yeah, but
It's not okay in this day and age, regardless of the reason. But the author willing to be ballsy enough to be like, I'm gonna throw this out there in the universe and and hoping that something good was gonna come out of it. It's just like, oh god.
I saw literally no comments on the website that I read 7 Deadly from where it's just like, yeah, this is a fine story direction. Everyone was just like, what the fuck did I just read?
And that should be the appropriate reaction.
Yeah, it should be. Like, I mean, man.
All right.
I will also say, from what I've seen, I guess Crunchyroll manga is fully dead.
Oof.
Yeah, it has not updated 7 Deadly Edens since like when I noticed that it didn't update. Yeah, it's still not updated. So I'm assuming that app is just, I guess Crunchyroll's abandoning it, which doesn't surprise me because I don't feel like it probably got a lot of traction anyway.
No, I doubt it.
I would doubt that it got a lot of traction. So I don't know. I want to say there was something else that I wanted to shout out at the very beginning, and I remembered halfway through the episode, and now I can't remember it again. And I'm really upset that I can't remember it again because it was something cool. But yeah, anything that you want to shout out?
Go check out Rogue Energy. They're releasing their new flavor August 19th.
Ooh, that's
Rocket
true.
Pop.
Yeah, Rocket Pop.
With a collector's box.
I'm buying it day one. Day one purchase. Get me some Rocket Pop Rogue. I'm here for that. Especially since like the Great Popsicle is pretty solid.
Oh yeah,
I'm
good.
looking forward to trying the Rocket Pop.
I'm probably gonna grab Rocket Pop too. I'm not sure what it's gonna taste like, but it sounds interesting.
Yeah. I love Rocket Pop flavored drinks. Rocket Pop flavored drinks are fucking great. But I don't think I've ever had like an energy drink that's been a Rocket Pop flavor. I don't think I've ever had that. I can't think of a brand that sells a Rocket Pop energy drink. I really can't. But I guess the only other 2 shout outs that I've got is one, we may have a new partnership soon. So shout out to that. Which will come with a challenge. We'll see how well we do that challenge. And then also, I put out a tweet, I think it was yesterday, on my Twitter, at AlexLight23. Give me a follow. I appreciate that. Involving starting the, a new venture for Sparky 3. And I want to specifically shout that out on this episode because, like, on this show, because, like, it relates to the theme of Anime Plus. You know, it definitely relates to the theme of Anime Plus. We have a new venture in the works that I'm very excited for and looking forward to talking about more. I'm hoping that it will fully be revealed to the world by the end of this year. I think is my current timetable goal. So it's a little extra for you here at the end of the episode. Just a little something for you to think about on your way out the episode. With that said, I'll hit the music. We'll get here. Dude,
right,
I'm
cool.
fucking starving. I got some tacos and I'm here for it.
All right. Like, comment, subscribe, rate, whatever your platform allows. It does help. If you're watching this on YouTube, you can hit that subscribe to help us build that community. And you can also hit the bell to notify any video go up. And you should also go check our YouTube Anime Plus and go subscribe there so we can build that. And stop posting on Sparky 3 and just post on there. That would help it great a lot. Thank you very much. Bye.
He is 100% right because that would 100% help the algorithm because posting everything at Sparky 3 fucking kills us. But you know what? It is what it is. This is our main channel. Yes, do everything he said and more. Check us out on our website as well, sparky3.com. You sign up for free or sign up $5 a month. Head over to the merch store, sparky3shop.com, where we do a promo code TechProbs with a Z. We're currently 30% off because we've had a slew of tech problems over at a terrible football show. Shout out to that being back and live. A lot of good conversations over there. Join the Discord down in the description below and check out the other shows, Game Static, Table Foolish, talk about movie stuff, and Spark Park. With all that said, I think that's it. We'll actually see us in real time in like 2 weeks, and hopefully you enjoy the next couple weeks of episodes. Again, being on the big 5, big 3 of animes per decade, and as well as our recommendations for the best gateway entry point animes for people. Until next time, guys, see you in a couple weeks. Bye.